Rangers shows new side of Russell Martin tactics after doubts. Djeidi Gassama sends shockwaves through Europe in just 4 minutes. Lennon Miller slips through our fingers, and Russell Martin's eyeing a Serbian midfield controller to stamp his identity on this new-look squad, plus drama brewing around Hamza Igamane with calls for Rangers to sell before the dressing room explodes. Massive headlines, major twists, and ruthless decisions. Everything you need to know is right here. You waited long enough for a European night to spark your summer to life, and my word, it came with a bang at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Panathinaikos 0, not just a result, but a statement. Findlay Curtis kicked off the scoring, followed by Djeidi Gassama on his debut. You heard that right, his debut. And suddenly, Russell Martin's era at Ibrox began not with a whisper, but with a roar that echoed well beyond Govan. Now, here's where it gets tasty. Folk were wringing their hands when Martin took the job, moaning about his obsession with possession. You know the type, sideways, backwards. It's no going anywhere. That reputation followed him from Southampton like a dug on a lead. But this match ripped that script in half. Both goals came from lightning-fast counters, the kind of play that gets you off your seat and spilling your Bovril. Gassama's goal especially, he picked it up, cut inside and hammered it home like he'd been raised on Copland Road. It wasn't sterile possession, it was aggressive, purposeful, and above all, clinical. Yes, Rangers had the ball most of the match, 76% of it, if you're counting, but it wasn't possession for the sake of it. It was dominance. And yet Martin wasn't daft about it. After the final whistle, he said the tie isn't over, and he's absolutely spot on. Jack Butland had to come up big a few times, and an early goal in Athens could blow this whole thing wide open. Panathinaikos boss Rui Vitória, he's greeting already, says his team were the better side until the red card, claims they played excellently and created loads of chances. Well, congratulations on your imaginary trophy for effort, Rui, but that's not how this game works. Rangers punished you when it mattered, and that's the mark of a proper side. And now the Greek press is drumming up the second leg like it's their miracle in the making. They think the heat, the crowd, and the chaos of Athens can turn the tide. Maybe. But if Rangers stick to that blend of discipline and directness, they'll not just weather it, they'll finish the job. If Martin's tactics crumble under pressure in Athens and Rangers bottle this 2-goal lead, will you still back him? Or will the ghosts of Southampton come calling again? You waited long enough for a spark at Ibrox, and Djeidi Gassama lit the place up like Guy Fawkes night. 4 minutes, that's all it took. Off the bench, ball at his feet, a cut inside, and bang a back of the net. It was the kind of debut most players can only dream about. And for Rangers, it was a 2-goal cushion in the Champions League qualifier. For Sheffield Wednesday, it was a nightmare in blue. Sold for just £2.2 million because of their financial chaos, the Owls watched in horror as the lad they let go stole the show in Govan. Their fans were gutted, and rightly so. Gassama didn't just make an impact, he changed the entire tone of the tie and possibly his own career trajectory. The Scottish media weren't shy about it either. The Scotsman called it the perfect introduction and gave him an 8 out of 10. Glasgow World raved about his pace and finishing, while the Herald said you could hear the fans getting louder every time he touched the ball. That's Ibrox magic right there. And Stephen Thompson, he was absolutely floored. Outrageous, he said on BBC Sports Scotland. What an impact. What a debut. He's not wrong. There are debuts, and then there's planting a flag in the pitch and saying, this is mine now. Russell Martin, though, isn't letting the noise get to his head. He knows it's only half-time in the tie, and he's right to stay grounded. But you can bet your season book that deep down he's grinning like a dug with 2 tails, watching Gassama explode like that. Let's be real, a player who was turning out for Sheffield Wednesday last season has now got Ibrox on its feet and Greek defenders in a panic. He's only 21. But the way he handled that stage, that pressure, and that moment, it screamed of a player ready to become the next big name on the marble staircase. If Gassama keeps this up, scores goals, lights up Europe, did Sheffield Wednesday just gift Rangers their next multi-million-pound superstar on a budget, or is this just another flash in the pan like so many before him? The winds of change are blowing through Ibrox, and it's not just the smell of fresh paint and new shirts. It's transfer season in the full swing, and Rangers are right in the thick of it. Russell Martin's reign has barely kicked a ball, but already the headlines are being hijacked, not by tactics or training drills, but by a brewing saga involving Hamza Igamane. The Moroccan forward, who only just arrived in Glasgow, is now being urged to pack his bags and leave before he's even had a proper crack at the squad. Former striker Kris Boyd, him again, has come out and said Rangers should bite the bullet and sell Igamane if a decent offer comes in. He warned that player power these days means you can't just hold lads hostage and expect smiles at training. If a move's on the table and the player wants it, sometimes it's better to cash in and move on. Now, clubs like Lille and Feyenoord are sniffing around, ready to test Rangers' resolve. And here's the kicker: Boyd reckons if we drag this out too long, we risk getting knout, as the lad could just down tools or walk for free down the line. It's blunt talk from Boyd, but maybe he's got a point. No one wants a sulking striker taking up space on the bench. Meanwhile, while Igamane's future hangs in the balance, another one bites the dust on the recruitment front. One of Martin's reported targets has gone elsewhere, choosing another club over a move to Ibrox. That's the reality check in Europe right now. We're still shopping smart, but others are throwing around more cash than a Celtic fan at a knockoff merch stall. Still, with names like Djeidi Gassama, Joe Rothwell, Nasser Giga, and Max Aarons already in the door, there's no shortage of ambition. But let's not kid ourselves. We need clarity. This squad can't carry dead weight or drama merchants, especially not when Champions League qualification is on the line. If Rangers let Igamane go without ever giving him a proper run, does that prove we're building for the badge, or just flipping players like a mid-table English club? It looks like Rangers may have missed the boat on one of the most talked-about young midfielders in Scotland, Lennon Miller. The boy from Motherwell, just 18 years old and already playing like a seasoned campaigner, had Ibrox on alert. But now, word is he's got his heart set on a move abroad. Another talent looking at brighter lights and fatter checks on foreign soil, and fair play to him. But it stings, doesn't it? This isn't just about missing out on a player who scored 2, assisted 8, and bossed the midfield in a struggling Motherwell side last season. This is about what he represented, a ready-made Scottish talent dominating his peers, already proven in the Premiership, and with room to grow, top 10 in the league for ball recoveries, top 14% for interceptions. That's not hype, that's hard numbers. But don't think for a second Rangers are sitting still. Russell Martin's got a name on the radar. Andrej Bacanin, Serbian, 18, plays like a proper holding midfielder, no nonsense, no frills. Kukariki want £2.6 million, but it sounds like £2.1 million could get it done. And with Celtic, Ajax, and Udinese all circling, you know there's something there. Now, Bacanin's no Lennon Miller clone. He's not peppering the final third with goals and assists, but what he does offer is control. He's been labeled a true midfield controller, and when you dig into the stats, over 4 tackles and interceptions per 90 minutes in a league that doesn't exactly do slow-paced football, you see the promise. He doesn't give away pens. He doesn't make costly errors. He just wins the ball, breaks up attacks, and keeps things ticking. If Rangers are serious about building a midfield with grit, structure, and a bit of snarl, Bacanin could be a long-term investment worth taking a punt on. If Rangers let a homegrown Scottish gem like Miller slip through their fingers while chasing a project player from Serbia, do you think that's ambition? Or have we started acting like Celtic, ignoring our own backyard for a foreign name with shinier data sheets? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.